Triple H has just broke his silence about the events of his cardiac event last year, so we'll see what he had to say. We'll also check out Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler's reunion, as well as a WrestleMania match that's on the verge of being cancelled. So let's get into this cancelled WrestleMania match. Seth Rollins has the most popular mystery WrestleMania opponent right now, but that's not the only last-second match that hasn't been confirmed. Reports claim that WWE had plans for Omos versus Bobby Lashley to take place at WrestleMania 38. Omos has quietly had a similar story to Seth Rollins lately. Omos has walked through all these opponents on Raw, but still doesn't have a WrestleMania match. He hasn't made it a big deal like Seth Rollins has, but still, Omos is without a high-profile WrestleMania opponent, and his WrestleMania career got off to a hot start at WrestleMania 37, where he captured the tag team titles with AJ Styles. So he already has a career win and a title win at WrestleMania. And clearly, WWE has a bright future in store for Omos as the next giant, bigger-than-life superstar. So part of that plan was allegedly a WrestleMania 38 match with Bobby Lashley. Lashley was originally hurt back in January during the Royal Rumble match with Brock Lesnar. They were able to hide and disguise Lashley's injury until Elimination Chamber, where he was written out of the match before stepping foot in the match. That's when the story broke that Lashley was legitimately injured and having this big shoulder surgery that would keep him on the shelf for just over 4 months. But the good news was that Lashley ended up not getting that surgery and was reportedly working hard to get cleared in time for this alleged WrestleMania match with Omos. So as soon as things started looking up for Bobby Lashley, it looks like that's when they started to pencil in this WrestleMania 38 match between Omos and Bobby Lashley. But just days away from WrestleMania itself, and there hasn't been any mention of Bobby Lashley or even the smallest of hints. So reports claim that this WrestleMania match between Omos and Lashley seems to be off. But that doesn't mean they can't make it happen sometime after WrestleMania. Maybe Bobby Lashley is one of the big returns at the Raw after WrestleMania, or maybe he returns in these next few months and starts this story with Omos. And it has the potential to be a pretty great non-title storyline. Omos has been running through the competition on Raw, but now he has to face a former two-time WWE champion and someone who pinned Brock Lesnar earlier this year with Bobby Lashley. That's quite the significant upgrade in competition for Omos, so it would be interesting to see that play out. Now, hypothetically speaking, who would actually win in this matchup? Well, it can surely go either way, but Omos seems like he would definitely benefit more from a big win like this. And after defeating Bobby Lashley, who knows where that could possibly take Omos to next. So keep your eyes out for Omos versus Bobby Lashley sometime in the near future. The current NXT World Champion is Dolph Ziggler, a main roster superstar that never really had much background in NXT. And the Women's Champion is Mandy Rose, someone that started in NXT, got called up, then went back to NXT again and really took over better than ever before. A lot of fans criticize this entire concept of main roster superstars coming back to NXT to win titles. A lot of fans say, I thought this was to develop new stars, which it definitely still is, but bringing over these big main roster superstars is done to spike more interest in watching NXT. We've seen Riddle, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Mandy Rose, Rey Mysterio, and more all appear on the new NXT, just to create more interest. That seems to be the main mission. But ever since Dolph Ziggler first appeared in NXT several weeks ago, one of the most talked about fan ideas was a reunion with Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler were involved in one of WWE's biggest storylines during the pandemic era in 2020. A storyline that started off as Mandy falling for Otis eventually led to Sonya Deville sabotaging that relationship and setting Mandy up with Dolph instead. Mandy and Dolph were paired up for a bit as a couple on WWE television until the reveal came that Sonya and Dolph set everything up. Mandy and Otis would get back together, but the storyline had a weird ending after Mandy was traded to Raw, and they never gave us any sort of update on Mandy and Otis. Mandy, Otis, and Ziggler have all changed a lot since the events of that storyline. So that had fans wondering how this new version of Mandy Rose would get along with Dolph Ziggler. What's the follow-up there? Does she forgive him? Are they cool now? That's been the few questions on everyone's mind since Ziggler came over to NXT. We've yet to see Dolph and Mandy reunite on screen, but both NXT champions reunited backstage on a video that Dolph Ziggler and Mandy Rose posted to Twitter. They were just promoting the NXT Stand and Deliver live event. Didn't really include any hints on them reuniting on NXT television, but it was still a clip that went viral online. Will Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler ever interact on screen in NXT? That's what we'll have to wait on. Triple H has been completely away from the WWE scene since last September. It was reported back then that Triple H had some sort of cardiac event, but it was a real secretive situation and nothing but mixed reports surrounded it. Some claimed it was nothing too serious, others claimed it was extremely serious. Well, in his first real public appearance and full sit-down interview since the cardiac event, Triple H sat down with ESPN's Stephen A. Smith to recall everything that happened and led up to that event. He noted that he was suffering from viral pneumonia in September 2021, and it was his wife, Stephanie McMahon, who noticed that he was coughing up blood. He then went to the hospital where doctors discovered fluid around his lungs and heart. The doctors continued to inform Triple H that his heart was nowhere near full strength and was only getting weaker and weaker as time passed. So they were constantly putting Triple H out for different procedures, and he talked about how terrifying it was each time because he wondered if that was it, that he wasn't going to wake up from that certain procedure. He said that when people go through major scares like this, it really helps to appreciate everything in life even more. When asked if he'll ever wrestle again, Triple H shut it down completely by saying that he's fully done and will never wrestle again, officially now marking the end of an all-time great WWE superstar. Triple H's last match was for a live event on June 29, 2019. His last matches on television was June 7, 2019 against Randy Orton in Saudi Arabia, and he also did a main event brawl with Randy Orton in early 2021. Will Triple H return to the backstage scene or maybe even make non-physical appearances on WWE television? Hopefully so, as long as it's fully safe for him and there's no serious risk involved with things like that. Then everyone would love to see him back working in WWE in some capacity. You can just take a look at the stars he's created during his time with NXT, and it's always great results when he's hands-on. So hopefully his input and influence continues to be present in WWE. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.